everybody, welcome to the new Pottery Corner. So lots has been going on here in the COVID-19 lockdown. Day 49 today, so we are day 50 tomorrow. So yes, lots has been going on. As you can see, we are redecorated, new shelving for glazed work and biscuit work, and I've done a glaze firing of some dishes that I did, and I'm just about to open the kiln, so I thought you might like to join me. The kiln is down to 49 degrees, so let's flick it over. There's just my plates in here. There's nothing else in the way of students' work because, of course, we haven't had any students, very unfortunately, so I'm hoping that we might hear later whether or not some students can come back. Right, so these are more of the tapas dishes that I'm working on at the moment. First one of which is in that lovely pear glaze. This one is textured, so I've used my texture stamps on here, hand built, slab rolled and put over my custom humps that I made. And those eagle-eyed of you will know that the design of the dish came from Bill Van Gilder. So he has a YouTube channel. Suggest you have a look. He's very good. So that's the first one. Not bad. And then we have, this one is slightly larger. This is the medium sized. And this one has just got marbled clay. Actually, it's quite nice. I love this bit on the side, which is interesting. It couldn't be in the dish, could it? But there's a piece on the side which is really nicely marbled. Nice on the back. That one is, it's got like a blue in it. I don't know if you can see that. Not much on the front, but it looks like a watercolour. I rather like the watercolour style of these dishes. So I'm sure they'd look really nice with, you know, whatever, tapas in them. Olives or avocados, as is my favourite, Karen. So cookies out. This one I have glazed in smoke, and this one has a couple of ripples in it where it's got a fault in the actual slab, but I used the wiggle wire to cut the marbled clay, so you can see the wiggle wire shapes in there, which is actually really very nice. Not so much on the back because, of course, when I made the slab I put most of the colour on the top, but that's got a very nasty bubble in it, so that won't be going anywhere but on my table. So that's the first row. Get the shelf out. Up we come. Out of the way. Nice. We have a disaster already. The trouble with these dishes is that they are quite fragile because of their shape. I'll put the props on there. Let's do the good before the bad. This one's really very pretty. I can't remember what glaze that is, but it looks to me like it's Storm. That again is my my own texture stamps that I use. And actually that's really pretty, and it's a lovely blue, lovely shape, lovely hold where the glaze has pooled into, you know, the bottom bits of the texture to give it that sort of different colour. It's actually only one glaze. So very nice, that one's lovely. And we have one in Weeping Plum, lovely. Right, so this one, again, I used the wiggle wire on it, so you can just see this wiggle wire texture here. Quite nice, and that one's in Weeping Plum. And actually, as is mostly the way, the backs sometimes come out nicer than the fronts because you can never really tell what you're going to get. Life is like a box of chocolates. So that one's in Weeping Plum. That's nice, pretty. I like the marbling on it. Again, it's got that sort of painter sort of look to it, so that's really very nice. And then here's the first of the disasters. Hopefully there won't be any more in the bottom, but this bowl has cracked right the way down, the whole bowl. Now isn't that a shame? Pretty bowl. This is marbled using the the black clay, and I have to say that I think I might start marbling white clay with black powder, because that black clay, it doesn't take the glaze very well, and B, it clearly has a sort of a different coefficient, if you like, and that's caused that particular dish to fail rather spectacularly. So that's a disaster, but you know, these things happen, unfortunately. I'm just going to take the props and things out, and we'll have a look and see what's on the next layer, and hope that my very large dish is not a disaster. So, shelf out. Ooh, and it's not. I love it. That's good news. Right, let me just get the props out again. We know what happens to props if we leave them in the kiln. They fall on things, so I do like to get them out. So, let's get those out and out the way. There we are, and I'll put them in the box later. Right, so this is the other of the Weeping Plum, and that one is really very pretty. Like that a lot. That's got lovely marbling on it. That's lovely. And again, on the back, it's even better. It almost looks like wood on the back. It's got like a sort of a wood grain texture, if you can see that. So yes, that one's very nice, and as a pair, the two go together quite well. One is more marbled than the other, but actually they go together very nicely. So they are very nice. We like those. There's a few new glaze tiles in the bottom of here. Started using some of the Amaco glazes. I would have to look up which one's which. One of them's called Tutti Frutti, I think. That one's actually quite pretty, so I will probably use that on one of the new bowls. That's nice. That one, I can't remember what it's called. I should have my glaze book downstairs. Oh yes, you should have your glaze book downstairs. Nice. And again, I'm afraid I can't remember what that one's called. I thought it was going to come out a little bit more turquoise, but very nice nonetheless. And the last thing that's in here, except it does have a crack in it, which is a real shame, is one of the largest of the platters that I'm making, with a fish motif in it, and it has the words "You shall have a fishy" on it. But unfortunately, as you might be able to see, there's a very nasty crack. So again, oh dear, it'll have to stay on my table. Rather lovely though. The glaze combination is really good. This is white earthstone clay, which I have left with Amaco's ice all over. Before I did that, I put copper oxide on the actual fish texture and wiped it back so that it would stay in the texture. And then over the top of that, I have just puffed, as I call it, so on a paintbrush from a height, some cobalt oxide, which is the blue, and some more of the copper oxide, which is the green. And actually it comes out looking like sort of under the water, which is obviously what I wanted it to do. But unfortunately, as I say, these big dishes, sometimes because of the way that they are formed and the way they're fired, sometimes you get a crack in them, or indeed, you know, it goes right across the bottom. So unfortunately that can't go on the new shop, on the new website, but I'll be making some more like that because I think they're really good. So for a prototype, I'm very happy with that. So, as I say, there's no courses or classes going on at the moment, unfortunately, but I am making, and we've been very busy revamping everything and making everything more sophisticated. Ooh. So we now have a website, so please go to my website, thepotterycorner.co.uk. And on the website there's information about the courses when they're back up and running, or there will be, and there are items in my shop. So all you lovely people who have gifts to buy for people as you're all locked down and you can't go shopping, do have a look, There's quite a few mugs on there, there's quite a few bowls on there. I've been uploading some new items today, so if you'd like to have a look at that, that would be lovely. In the meantime, I'm missing you all my students. And have a look on Instagram. It's the.pottery.corner, and the Facebook page is The Pottery Corner. So yes, there's been lots going on, and as you can see, I've been painting. Hope you like it. Speak to you soon. Bye bye now.